Hi, my name is Becky Lippitt, and this is my final reflection video. In the beginning of this course, my life was a lot different. I was working as a school nurse, and so therefore I had different goals. My first personal learning goal was to create interactive lesson plans about diabetes and anaphylaxis and things like that I could deliver to the students that I served at school. Another goal of mine was to discover electronic resources for nurses and how we could integrate them for learning. And then my third one was to help to open up a lot of the resources that are blocked on the internet due to strict guidelines that people have for internet use in the school district. Those are my three goals. One of the first assignments, well, I guess the first assignment we had was VoiceThreads, and that was a really hard assignment for me. I felt right from the beginning that perhaps I was taking a class that was above me. I was kind of looking for where the beginner class was, because even though I have 6 teenage kids, I myself am not socially inept, I should say, about the computer. I had recently opened a Facebook page a month before starting this class. Other than that, I did not know how to tweet. I did not know, I knew of Pinterest, but I didn't really have time to follow that. And VoiceThreads was a whole new thing, learning how to download things and how to navigate Moodle and stuff like that. That was a really big learning curve for me, but through many hours and perseverance, I figured that, and then the next assignments down the road were easier. And so I'm grateful that I was kind of forced to dive into to the internet and what it has to offer. Our next thing, we had to create a page on WordPress to house all of our it's like our learning log, is what it is. And that was hard too, but not as hard as my 502 class, which is where I had to build web pages using code. That was horrific, and so actually this class was a nice break from having to do my 502 stuff. And so even though this class was hard too, it was a different hard. And so I'm grateful that I paired the two together and that they kind of go hand in hand. It was really nice not to have a real strong structure into when things were due in this class as opposed to 502. So I was grateful for the way that those went together. So creating a page on WordPress, and that was a great learning experience too. I had never done a blog or anything like that, and so I had a lot of fun with that. Learned a lot of things about stuff you should say and maybe stuff you shouldn't. I thought the Diigo sticky notes were a neat thing. I didn't really spend a lot of time working with that, but I was glad to be exposed to that so that I'm aware of it in case I want to use it in the future. We did a paper, an annotated bibliography, and a research paper on EdTech challenges, and that was kind of more up my line. I felt comfortable doing that, although it was the first time I had used Google Docs, and so I love learning about Google Docs and how to use the Drive in the cloud, because I've heard about that, and so I'm glad that I had the opportunity to learn that, and working with Albertsons Library for finding research stuff. I thought that was a great benefit, a great tool. Next, we did the assignment on digital divide, and that wasn't hard for me. Research stuff is not hard for me, but the extra normal PowerPoint that we had to do with that was hard, and that took me hours and hours. I liked it though. I am grateful for the opportunity again to yet learn another resource that's available for teachers out there, and different things that you can do to make things interactive and kind of different. And so even though that was hard, I'm grateful, and I learned, and I might use that again for something else. But I did my digital divide on, this is at the time when I was transitioning to my new job, which is I get to be a teacher, and that's why I started taking educational technology. I was kind of forecasting into the future that I would eventually be a nursing educator, which is, I got my master's in nursing education, so I wanted to get my second master's in educational technology to kind of marry the two. And that panned out for me much sooner than I thought it would. So I get to be an infection control continuing education teacher plus an infection control inspector. And I'm excited about that. One of the things that I had to do that's pretty daunting for me, not really ever being a professional teacher, is I had to create a 4-hour PowerPoint where I can engage people in infection control. And so I explained to my employer that I need it to be interactive and I need to use technology and all those things that I have learned just this semester. here at Boise State. And so I'm really excited to integrate all those things and so grateful for all the things that I have learned. Going on to our next assignment, we talked about the technology use planning overview. And in reading the Higher Education Horizon report, it talks about how it's important that we don't do one-size-fits-all teaching methods, and how you really need to reach each student individually, and you need to use all the different ways of learning, the visual learner, the hands-on learner, and then use different media too, and how that just makes things interactive and discussion and all those things. And so I was excited for that because that's how I like to learn. I think it's how everyone likes to learn. And I'm excited to be that kind of teacher and to help people have fun in learning. So the next thing that's going on with where I work is we're creating this company because currently the company that's out there now to help dentists be compliant with infection control delivers everything. It's all paper-based, and they don't have any social feeds or anything like that where people can stay abreast of the new things, because as with anything in the medical field, infection controls and technology is growing too, and we need to stay abreast on things like that. For example, you no longer need a hepatitis B booster. That just came out a couple years ago. If you get the 3 doses, you're fine, and people in the medical field need to know that. And I think it's important that they understand the why of things. And if you hand somebody a 4-inch binder, nobody's going to read that. I mean, that's scary. so people aren't learning what they should be learning to be safe and to keep the community safe, and I'm excited to change that here in Las Vegas. The last thing we did was the school evaluation summary. I relabeled it to be the business evaluation summary, and as we're just starting out, our focus hasn't been so much on technology, although with me there it is an underlying thread. I was real excited to be able to show my employer, who's also a professor at the college, to show him Prezi. I was so happy that just happened to come up in our discussion forums, and that I was able to use that because it's impressive to people who haven't seen it before. And I had a lot of fun with that. But also we're talking about getting either the Chromebooks or the or iPads to do the actual inspections on, and we're trying to make everything online to make it easy for people to be compliant with infection control and OSHA practices. So it was very timely that I got to do this evaluation summary and really look at things and think about how I want to help the company grow and how I can be an asset to them. The last thing that I did were my artifacts. My first artifact, I created a lesson plan for my 4-hour PowerPoint that included videos and activities and things that would help to engage the audience and to help them learn better. And then my last artifact was my actual Prezi PowerPoint. I loved what I learned about PowerPoint, how you don't want to have like more than 36 words or something on a page, and I kept each of my pages well below that. There are a couple screenshots that have pictures of forms in their handouts that I actually give people so that we can follow along, like immunization schedules and stuff like that. So anyways, the doctors I presented to have been really impressed, and Boise State makes me look fantastic, and in return I give credit to you, and I am so grateful. I can't believe I'm crying. I am so grateful for the great teacher that you have been. Even though I'm not sitting in a classroom, I felt like you were always there for me, and I have learned so much, and thank you for making it individualized to even someone kind of as quirky as me. And I don't feel like I'm the regular Boise State student, but I have learned so much, and it has already changed my life. And so thank you so much, and have a great summer.